So former Senator Al Franken tells the New Yorker magazine that he regrets bowing to pressure from other Democrats to resign before a Senate Ethics Committee could investigate the allegations of sexual misconduct against him. And he's upset with the people in his party who told him to step down. Now, the question is, did he make the wrong move? Or, did he do what he needed to do at the time he needed to do it?
Well, I've said before that I thought he needed due process. I mean, he just left, and nobody even gave him, some kind of a trial. I don't know.
No ethics. No ethics committee. Yeah.
No, nothing. I mean, the guy just was forced to resign without any kind of, and if you read the story, some of it is, the other thing about it is that it was kind of a political hit in many ways. He was very much effective in questioning Jeff Sessions, which forced him to resign, and Betsy DeVos, he was after her, so he was a big target, and a lot of the things that she told us, tweeting, the girl who accused him, the woman, I should say, some of it has some holes. It doesn't mean that I'm saying she's lying, but there are some holes in her story which should have come out in the. You have all these lawyers here, right? That's the way to do it. And then he apologized immediately, which didn't work. That never works, apparently. Did Trump ever apologize for any of these sexual assaults he's been alleged to have done?
But the piece only focuses on Leanne Tweeden, who everyone knows, at least I think during the time, that she's a friend of mine.
Right.
It doesn't talk about the 7 other women who accused him of sexual misconduct, 2 while he was a sitting senator. The problem with him staying in office would be, imagine him questioning Brett Kavanaugh at the time, which, by the way, the writer who wrote this article, Jane Mayer, wrote a 2018 piece about allegations of Brett Kavanaugh that has been panned because the only corroborating witness in the Kavanaugh article said that he had heard the story from someone who had been there, but that person said they didn't remember it now. That was her article about Brett Kavanaugh. So it's very tricky, and I want you to go back in time and remember, it would be very uncomfortable for Democrats if Al Franken were sitting there questioning Brett Kavanaugh at the same time. And the article only focuses on Leanne. It's not focusing on these 7 other women at the same time. And I don't think that Me Too and sexual assault should be about which party you vote in the general election.
Well, according to him, that those allegations were part of his personality, the way Biden has been able to get out of those accusations.
But I wouldn't compare his allegations to Biden.
Well, they disappeared the minute he resigned. That was the end of them.
Yeah.
It's just suspicious in itself. But Biden has been accused of being too touchy-feely, and Franken says he is too. And I'm here to say that has to stop
her
on both sides. That has to stop. But this is the same thing that Biden says, and you're okay with that?
No, no woman that I'm aware of has accused Joe Biden of kissing her without him, forcing himself kissing her.
Nobody corroborated
There's also no pictures of Joe Biden putting his hands on a woman's breast that I'm aware of.
She was wearing a flak jacket. The problem with that was she was sleeping, and he admits that was wrong. It was nowhere near her actual breast.
The thing is, there is a dispute as to what happened. There does seem to be some holes in the story. And I think the problem is that he wasn't afforded any due process. He resigned 3 weeks after the accusations came forward, and he was calling for an ethics investigation. I always do tend to, because I was a sex crimes prosecutor, err on the side of believing women. And I think for far too long, we haven't believed
We're happy
women.
to believe them, but at least give them a day in court.
And that's the thing. We should believe women because the incidence of false reporting is very low. It's between 2 and 10%. So when women...
But the thing is, Whoopi,
he didn't get due process.
No, he didn't get due process.
I also would have been fine with due process. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with her article.
Due process to me is a must.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens. People, we talk about witch hunts, or he talks about. That's a witch hunt. Because the Me Too movement came up, and everything everybody said, there was no space to say, well, wait a minute, let's talk about this. I think, and I know, and hold on to your emails and your texts. Okay?
As if you read them anyway.
Wow.
But she gets them.
Yeah.
I get them. But the Central Park 5 is big to me. That's a big thing. Tawana Brawley is a big thing because people took themselves out. And it's a small percentage, but you don't want your son to be the one that's being accused without getting due process. And let you add Let me just finish that. Unless you have due process in this country, we will be facing stuff that you can't even imagine. Somebody
Right.
will say it's them and they're gone. You can't do that. You must follow the law. Everybody, you must follow the law.
Yeah.
But I also think journalists should do their job, and it looks like Jane Mayer had a totally different experience reporting on Al Franken than she does Brett Kavanaugh. And that's my biggest problem. I mean, other than this obvious allegations of sexual assault.
What did she say about Kavanaugh?
She said the corroborating witness in the Kavanaugh article, I said it earlier, she had heard the story from someone who had been there, but that person said they didn't remember it now. So I just want us to hold everyone to the same standard
Well, here's
of
the
due
thing.
process.